black box thing. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I am here with Horizon Zero Dawn. My name is Master Monster, coming to you from my roommate's PS4, because she is away for a few weekends. So I've spent a good amount of time with Horizon Zero Dawn, but it's been a few months since I touched it, so if anything looks janky, that's because my butt is still trying to remember the controls. Anyways, I started off playing this game on the hardest difficulty. And not like hard, I mean like brutal hard. And I played to it, honestly, a good portion of the game on this difficulty. And yes, it was insanely hard and grueling. Obscenely so at some sections, honestly. But even like with some of the hard fights, with the first sawtooth and stuff like that, I still got by. And I'm playing a normal now because why would I do that to myself again? Oh, you blew the fuck up. So I'm just going to talk about the game. Need to blow up. What the fuck is hitting me? One of my big grievances with the game is when you have multiple enemies around you, they all tend to attack you literally all at the same time. What the fuck is this rock? I haven't thought this before. The hard mode was really lazy. Are they just gonna constantly explode at me? But yeah, on hard, you die in like 3 hits from anything, and the enemies could combo you, and I think that's never good for a game that wants you to, like, you know, at least somewhat take it seriously as a good hard experience. It's never a great hard experience if you're just constantly being harassed and just one-shot by everything. I'm surprised it did not hit me. I'm pretty sure I'm not invincible doing that. But besides that, the increase to crafting everything was dumb. I'm just gonna say it was really like what? Why?
Damn, no more of these.
I have forgotten how to switch weapons. That is not what I need. D-pad does all that. They seem to have forgotten. Ah, here we go. No, they're just stuck. Okay, I guess the AI isn't as great as I thought it was. Interesting. Not that the AI was anything super complex to begin with anyways. Something behind me? Okay. Just a sandstorm. Yeah, like the hard mode, I don't know who they thought they were, like, why they thought that, like, increasing shop prices, okay? So that's what it eventually, like, got me to get off the hard mode. Wasn't that I was struggling so hard that I just didn't want to play the game anymore. And, I mean, that was not it. Honestly, I put it on the hardest mode because I thought I wouldn't struggle at all. With the easier difficulties, and honestly this is like really easy to do what I'm doing here, but like the increased prices for everything, it was too much. I could understand like a little bump, but I kid you not, I went to like see the price difference between the two modes, and I was just like, holy shit, they're charging me like a 400, it was like a 400 or 500% increase. That is so annoying, that jitters my game. And it was just, it wasn't cool. Oh, I can zoom in further. Oh yeah, I forgot that was ability unlocked. I'll just have to hit the target. Right. Focus first. But yeah, the skill tree is alright. But what ended up killing this game for me, like feel-wise, other than like, you know, I started off, maybe it wasn't smart to start off in the hardest difficulty, but like the bigger enemies had shot before I gave up on it too. The massive enemies have shot patterns that are just massively insane that to dodge, and they like the shots themselves will like 3-shot you, and it's just like, how am I supposed to dodge this? So it's like cranking up the difficulty but without being reasonable, and I don't want to play a game like that. Because right now the game on normal will be a decent enough challenge, especially if you're not used to soul-like games. But for me, like anything that's a basic enemy in this game is just too easy now. And it's just like I wanted to, you know, when I get hit, I wanted to, you know, feel like I got hit. But when I had the difficulty cranked up, I was constantly searching for medical supplies, and I feel like that was a good feeling to have, like for a game that you're supposed to be like, you're in this like desolate fucking wasteland of like, you know, machine hellscape. The world itself is got some varied and you know, is topography the word I'm looking for? I don't think it is. But it's got some, you know, some decent terrain differences and stuff to the point where it's like interesting to traverse. I'm in like a giant desert section. You start off in a giant forest section here. I think this is the starting section. Yeah, it's either here or here. No, I think you start off here. What is this village? Oh yeah, you start off here. You start off in this like snowy kind of forest section, and then there's a swamp area over here that has like a football stadium and stuff, and it's got like decent. Oops, I don't want to do that. It's got some decent lore with like, you know, like not really knowing what happened before all this, I guess. And the main character herself is actually really well written. Congrats on the writers for writing a really good female protagonist that doesn't just kick ass because she needs to kick ass. Like she has a whole like there's a whole like growing up section and stuff like that. Like it's nice. I like that aspect of the game. But like the whole, as you can see here, the whole open world is very like Ubisoft, even though this is, I don't think this is an Ubisoft game at least. You have a crafting system here to, you know, mod outfits and get better carrying capacity and whatnot. And this is very it reminds me of like Tomb Raider-esque stuff, except this is open world and Tomb Raider wasn't. Where you craft ammo pouches and whatnot. You can also just craft the ammo instead of doing it from the reel in here. You need to craft fast travel bags, which I really didn't understand this at all. Like, I get it though, like they wanted to make, you know, you think about fast traveling, because, you know, I was hunting down a lot of meat. I mean, if you can't tell by all the bony meat, I just don't have enough fatty meat, and that's how you make a lot of the potions too, is through the meats and stuff. It's got, there's plenty of reasons to go out hunting, and like a ton of errands and quests and stuff by the time you start talking to everything. Lots of corrupted zones and stuff to do. I don't like the tutorials in this game, as you have to mark them and then do the tutorial. This is like one of my biggest gripes with this quest thing, is it's not actively trying to see that you're doing this properly, ever. Like, ever. So, oof on that. That's a big miss to me, and I hate that, because I'm just like, I don't want to, like, select a tutorial and like, okay, let's do this. I'd rather you just... I'm in the living room, so I'm not on my normal setup here. Pulled my microphone out of my headset. But yeah, like, I don't like this. This is terrible. The cauldron was fun to do. It was very cinematic, and I had a hard fight at the end. And I did that first cauldron in that area on the hard difficulty. Tall necks are very basic. This is another like Ubisoft climb the tower thing, but getting to them, the fact that they move and stuff, it is a little bit different. So I like it. I'm gonna try to avoid making any more reference to like Assassin's Creed games and Ubisoft, just because I'm gonna try not to do that so much. But yeah, there's lots of stuff here. I think I can abandon a lot of these. Honestly, these errands are just things I marked. I think I got most of this stuff, honestly. But lots of side missions you can accept. I just so yeah, there's plenty of things to do in this game. Plenty of collectibles to grab that can get marked on your map. Lots of like little lore. I like there's audio as well as text. I'm much bigger fan of audio messages than I am of text messages, but I will occasionally read the text messages that some of these set off, but like some of this is like really long. So that's cool. They even have like a whole like copiendum thing, is that what you call it? Catalog. I don't know. Some places things call it different things, where you can like look up weaknesses and whatnot, and anything you found, and if you can write it, blah blah blah. I'm not really sure why they give you like a limited inventory, except maybe to give you an excuse to sell off some shit. I guess I'm not really sure. This doesn't strike me as a type of game where like you should have to inventory management, considering you might be like shooting off a lot of ammo to take down harder enemies. Modifications. I found myself crafting a lot of modification slots, but I don't, because I just wanted to hold more of these things. So you'll be selling off a lot of these, especially early on. I didn't really like that too much either, but you know, I feel like unless we're going for like a survival game, like Resident Evil, where it's just like you want to take like having an inventory system in the game makes sense because you're trying to balance ammo and you're trying to balance survival versus power, and then it also prevents you from bringing like every weapon in the game, prevents you from being too strong. You could bring a powerful rocket launcher in Resident Evil, and it makes sense for it to limit your inventory because you're having to give up heals and other things you might find along the path of the mission, but here it's just like, oh, I guess you gotta go back to a shop and sell something. It's like, oh, okay, thanks. I guess I'll do that. The skills are alright. I don't know if I actually took a good look over them, but the slow time ones are very recommended. The quiet spin I just got because I was tired of everything attacking me. That's another thing with the open world, is just like things chase you, and things chase you for quite a while. Actually, it's kind of dumb. I didn't like that much. This whole tree felt necessary, just because in the early games I was just like I said, on the harder difficulty. The lure call is insanely broken for just single target stabbing. The calm mount one, it's like, this is just like quality of life feature. I don't like when they lock quality of life features behind like high level skills. It's just like, oh, you know how you'd have to like override a beast and then you'd have your mount? You know how you'd have to work for it? Let's just override that. And I don't really like that too much. It's kind of like a throwaway. This one is also kind of a throwaway, honestly, but it's very important. And I get like not discarding stuff is important, but why not just make the trinkets and stuff always movable? I don't like I'm not a big fan of these being like ultimate skills, whereas Scavenger Plus is just like loot more. It's kind of like very foreseeable. Like, we have a crafting system, give them something so they can loot more and do stuff. So it's whatever. The Brave Tree obviously has the power moves and stuff like that that let you attack things stronger, and they're pretty good. These situational stealth ones. Like, I feel like you're forced into combat a lot in this game, so I didn't really feel like Silent Strike absolutely necessary, but I don't find a lot of situations where Strike for the Bob would be necessary. But there was a campaign mission um, where I was just like, where it would have been super useful. Um, Strike from below also like very situational. I find that there's usually people around that will try to like spot you before you can climb up a tower and do that type of stuff. Um, I don't find myself often on things where I want to aim at things anyways, so I don't really get this too much either. Like some of these skills are just kind of like whatever. Obviously you'd want to get maybe this and then go down here because that's what you can do. You can move over if you don't want to get that, but you kind of want Hunter's reflexes because the zoom in, really, honestly, the zoom in for more accurate shots. But the dodge rolling, low profile, the silent dropping, all this silent stuff. This is literally just, I don't want enemies to constantly attack me because I have plenty of shit on me right now, and I just want to make it to my objective. Because the mounts you ride and can take can also just, you know, get murdered. That is a thing that will happen with your mounts. So my biggest grievance with this entire game, it's a little thing called the UX, user experience, for the interface. I know I've been references to Dark Souls, but that's just because I like a harder game, and I just referencing that. I was trying for that early on, but you see this thing at the bottom left. You want to know where every single consumable goes? You want to know what you can't switch up the order of? It's this thing. This is what makes me want to not play this game at all. Especially on the harder difficulties. Like, you need traps on the harder difficulties. You know, these traps are super useful, and sometimes when you're in a fight with some
Look
dudes,
out below.
oh god. Yeah, when you're in a fight with why does not one shot? Can I hide in this? Oh, there's can I one shot this? Oh, they hadn't ult on me. Oh. But anyways, yeah, when I'm in a fight like this, I tried to play the trap like that. I got fucking rock shelled at me. But like when I'm in a fight, so you got all of the traps in there, but what you also have is your life-saving healing potions. They'll heal you up instantly, with your health. And I was doing a fight, and I just kept dying because I would be placing traps, and then I would go and I'd like accidentally nudge it or something, and it wasn't fun. It's not fun mid-fight having to click through this just to find your potion, and by the time you find it, you die, like, because you're so focused on trying to, like, you know, do the whole I need to find my thing. Like, your rocks go here. Why couldn't they just, like, easy thing would have been like I know there's a sprint button, but like give us like switch weapons here. Like it lets you craft ammo. This, you got heavy and light attack. There's gotta be some button you can use to like something, like denounce some sort of button for swapping stuff. I mean, fucking Elden Ring has a wheel like that, but it's limited on how much you can equip for balance purposes of like, oh, we don't want the player to have all this stuff, but also it's annoying. Here you have, as much stuff as you can craft. I keep hitting the wrong button. As much stuff as you can craft can go in there. So health potions, because Lord knows you need all of those. The health boost potion, the full health potion. You know, you may say you have a healthy supply of potions. There's boost potions, the fire resist. There's lots of enemies with elemental attacks that can destroy your HP pool, and then the antidote, the corruption, especially in the higher difficulties, which, you know, like I said, I played on, will destroy your HP bar for just touching the ground that they walk on. So this antidote, very useful to have, and so are these. Just for like literally, basically making you almost immune to the damage. And all through these traps, all of this goes under one bar. And as you can imagine, look how much stuff you'd have to scroll through to get to any of your potions. They're not even all together. Look at this. Antidotes, my big heals, my whistle, my rock, the other potions, and then the traps. It's very, like, you can only see what's one to either side, and there's no hold left, and it goes to like a certain category. I can understand if you hold right on the D-pad and it went to your potions, that would be alright with me, because like that would be solved by main. Like, it would still be terrible finding what you specifically wanted. Elden Ring, I hold Y, or I hold my button, and I get 4 quick use items that I can put whatever I want there. And I can assign, with the down on the D-pad for the consumables, I can assign, I think, up to 6 consumables. And sure, you have to do the same thing, go through all of them, but they're in an order I deem important. Not like in any sort of weird fucking order that this game decided to put it in. Number 1. Number 2, if I hold down on the D-pad, on down in Elden Ring, I go instantly back to my first item, which means it's actually not a terrible idea to have your healing potions on the first slot of your D-pad, and then you can have a bunch of throwables down there, and then for like, maybe you like the PvP a lot, you put those on your Y so you're not constantly going back into your inventory 24/7, and then you just kind of, you know, you're set. The only thing you need to swap to is like throwables, and you're probably only using those mid-fight with players usually. Although sometimes you'll use a throwing knife to lure out an enemy or something like that, but it's just like it's not so intrusive to where you'll die unless you've poorly set up the menu yourself. And so that's like my huge gripe with this. I don't know, I think the other one's Forbidden West. I don't know what they did with Forbidden West. Maybe they improved the UI UX experience. I mean, the UI isn't bad, honestly. Actually. Maybe it could use a little bit of touching up. Like the radar moved a little bit more to the top of the screen and stuff like that. Now that my screen's been shrunk down a bit. Probably could move some of the UI elements out more. So the middle of the screen's less obscured. Everything's kind of pushed in. But yeah, I do like that they fade everything. That is a good job on that. That is like the one thing they did good. One of the few things they did good at. But that's what I'm gonna stop talking about the UI. My last kind of gripe, I guess, would be that the game itself is I don't feel properly rewarded for doing certain actions. I'd fucking some of the quest rewards are just very underwhelming, and or just kind of like some of the quests themselves actually I like, especially with like the grandmother asks you to fetch some stuff, and she's like, "Oh, thank you, mother, for this blessing." She's like ignoring you. Like, there's little quests like that that are nice. They give you a little bit of background. So the quest lore themselves is nice, and it's reason enough to do them. But I feel like the rewards for some of the quests are just like, eh. I mean, sometimes it's like oh, XP to like max out your character, but beyond that, like they're not giving you anything super special. It's not like you're gonna finish a quest line like you could in like Elden Ring, and then you'll get some sort of new armor set or something like that. At least not that I have found any. Um, but like the lore is all right. And the characters you interact with, some of them are very one-dimensional, but they serve their purpose. All in all, solid game. I can see why people like it. I'm also just not looking for like a big open world experience right now. But the rest of this game isn't really for me. But at least I could play. I played it. I came, I saw. I decided not to conquer, even though I very well could have. Um, it's just not my stroke. In fact, a lot of I've played open world games, and I always find myself mixed on them, especially when they do all this. I hate this about open world games, um, and I feel like once I get into games like this, I quickly get taken off because I'm sure you saw me like mark this and then head over there. Like the whole like check a box and go there, or check a marker and go there. Open world game design is the type of open world game design I just don't like. It's why I like Tears of the Kingdom so goddamn much. I like just, being able to just go out and find stuff. I've gone back to Tears of the Kingdom so many times. Um, and maybe Forbidden West is different, but if I had to guess, probably not. But there might be some improvements that make me enjoy it more. Um, is Forbidden West just on the PS5? I don't actually know. Um, but I'm not a PlayStation person, although my very first console was a PlayStation, like OG PlayStation. Um, uh, it's interesting being back on one. Although, if I'm being honest, I go in stores and I say I have access to a PlayStation regularly now. I should get a PlayStation game, and then I look at everything. I'm like, I could have all this on Xbox, and the only exception to that are the games I actually want to play on the system are the Final Fantasy remake games, which I'm not gonna buy yet, nor do I plan on buying them at all. I have a bunch of friends about to give me some games, so you'll see me doing a lot more of this streaming stuff, I think, in the future. But until then, if you watch this entire length video, thank you so much. Really late to the party on this game, but we can't have all the consoles. Sometimes you just gotta have a roommate that hooks you up with one. And I hope you all have a great day. Um, I am probably gonna stream Bloodborne sometime soon. I don't know about tonight. And thank you so much. Have a nice day. Okay, how do I stop this stream? What are the buttons I do? Broadcast settings.